So I've come to this realization. There are these sets of rules that we have lived with, all of us, our whole lives, where we have expectations about what it is to be female and what it is to be male, what it is to be white, what it is to be a person of color. And these are certain social mores that we have unconsciously, sometimes consciously, been affected by our entire lives. And what I've come to understand is they're nonsense. They're all nonsense. They have nothing to do with reality. They don't have anything to do with us individually as people. And yet we have all been had. We have all believed them. We've all believed that they define who we are somehow. I'm Melody Brooke. I am an author, I'm a counselor, I'm an actor, I'm a speaker, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmom, and I'm hoping that these mores, that these beliefs, that these ways of understanding about who we're supposed to be are not going to be what my children have to grow up with. My children have grown up with it to some degree, but they are breaking those rules also. What is it I'm talking about? I'm talking about, so many things, about how it is you're supposed to be a lady. And those messages are all very confusing, right? It's like you're supposed to dress a certain way, move a certain way, not be too sexy, but can't be too unattractive either. So there's this very limited box by which we're supposed to be behaving as a female. And one of those things is that we're not supposed to speak up. We're not supposed to conflict with men in particular, but we're certainly not supposed to have a point of view that is different from our husbands, our fathers, our brothers. We're supposed to just be demure and let them have their truth. That their truth is what's supposed to be dominant being the key. Hi, Pat. and learning to not be that, to allow ourselves to have our voice and to say when we don't like something, when we do like something, to be able to speak up for ourselves, to be able to speak our truths. Women, as a rule, in most relationships, I find interesting, because I've been working with couples for more than 30 years, and what I've begun to recognize is that many times the conflicts that I see my couples having are really about the fact that we have these ideas about what it is to be male, what it is to be female, that we feel we're supposed to comply with, and those are unconscious and they're not spoken. And when we start to break those rules, this can cause problems in our relationships, because the older we get as women, the less likely we are to want to follow those old mores. We start to find ourselves. We start to find our voice. We start to discover who we truly are, and we discover our own power. And we start saying no to things that we don't want to be a part of. We start saying no to things that we don't agree with. And this is a problem when we have married someone and stepped into that relationship being one way, and we start to shift to being another. This can create many problems in our relationship. And if our husband or our partner isn't willing to shift with us, that can result in some really sad outcomes. But it's important for us as the grandmothers of the world to start teaching other people that you don't have to live the way you think you have to live. You don't have to shush your voice. And I don't care if that's a man or a woman we're talking about here. I'm saying it's more often that it happens to women because of the way that we're culturalized, but I've certainly seen it happen the other way too. But as an adult person, we have to learn to step into our power. We have to learn to take our authentic voice and share it with other people. We have to do that regardless of the conflict that it causes. We don't necessarily like it, but we can't avoid it. Because if we avoid it, then we're creating as much distance as if we are in a fight with them. We can speak our truth without having to have a fight. Because when you speak from yourself, when you talk about your feelings, what it is you want, what it is you need, when you speak from your truth, not telling someone else that they're to blame or telling someone else that what they're doing is wrong. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about speaking what is truth for you in terms of what's right for you yourself. to be able to say, no, I don't like that. Yes, I do like that. No, don't agree with that. Yes, I do agree with that. And being able to speak from yourself, not owning responsibility for other people's reactions to what you have to say. It's okay if other people are upset. That doesn't mean you don't care. You can offer them empathy. And at the same time, speaking your own truth. And by doing that, you allow yourself to be who you were meant to be. And part of that requires us to break those social rules. That means we sometimes may have to speak up loudly. Sometimes we may have to be more aggressive than we would prefer. But we have to come from our truth. We have to speak our truth. I don't care if you're a man, woman, person of color. You have to do that. You have to break those rules. And as women in particular, we largely have been taught that we're not to break those rules. And I'm encouraging you now, my women friends, to go out and break the rules. Speak up when you disagree about something. Don't just passively let your husband, your boyfriend, your father tell you the way things are supposed to be. And if they don't like it, you can be empathetic for it. You can understand it because it's a change, right? If you're changing, you can't expect them not to be confused by your changes. That's okay. Let them be confused. Let them be upset. Be empathetic with it. But do have your own voice. It's a hard thing to do. I understand because to do it means breaking these unconscious beliefs we have about what it is to be female. We're supposed to be demure and kind and sweet and pleasing to people. And when we're not that, it can cause conflicts. It can cause people to be unhappy with us. And the truth is, and I'm telling you, as the older I've gotten, the more I know it's true, that we're better off by ourselves than to have people around us who demand us not to be who we are. Your job on this planet is to be all of who you are. Go after the things that bring you joy. Go after the life that you want. And that means moment by moment by moment, checking out what you need, what you want, and allowing yourself to speak that with confidence. So I guess I'm going to wrap for today. I see there's some people watching. Hi, Pat. I don't know who else is here. But thank you for being there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. If you've had the experience of silencing your voice, I'd love to know about that, because I really want to encourage you to be all of who you are. It is possible to be all of who you are in a world that tries to crush the life out of you. And if you have thoughts, comments, let me know. And you can find out more about me at melodybrook.com, and my books are available on Amazon and on Audible. And I try to be here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will see you then. Bye.